Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday, the 15th of March. So let's have a look at the actions today. First things first, yesterday's data came out. Let's just flick on the right page here. Just go into news, just scroll this back, and you see the US PPI data coming in there at 1.6. So US retail sales below expectations, but the PPI data. All of the numbers there, some of them zero point 0.1 above, some of them 0.3 above there, 0.4 above on the year-on-year figures, so higher than expected. Now that could well get passed on to the end client, the consumer, and that's always a concern there when it gets passed on. It's very inflationary. So today, yesterday we had these low ECB speakers. Many of them were a bit on the dovish side, calling for cuts, etc. We got speakers again, 9:35. We've got one there, and we got Lane speaking. Actually, it's the 15th, yeah, and Lane speaking later. Lane, as I seem to remember, is quite influential with the what's said. So we do have some US data again at 12:30. You've got this sort of industrial production, etc. It isn't that much of a mover in general terms. One thing I have picked up through the news service here running through was the price of copper. And it's absolutely surged. Now, one of the major beneficiaries of that is the Australians. They've got two of the biggest copper mines in the world, very influential on the copper side of things, very rich in it. So we might see the Australian dollar benefit. We'll have a look as we get there. It'll probably have sunk now. I've said that. Anyway, it actually has. It's down. Just looking at the pluses and minuses. Anyway, the long-term benefits are there to be gained. Right. The euro dollar. Let's look at these technically, and well, we're back to, and we're sort of sitting right bang on the trend line here. This trend line that was pushing up. It's also got it's got some potential around where it's sitting here for a bit more upside. It's sitting on its quarterly pivot again here, and it's getting a reaction to that sort of level. Now it has got its daily pivot above, which may just draw it up there. Overall, well, it's, as I say, it's got a number of support factors that are sitting below it. This is the quarterly pivot you can see on here, which could, as I say, just help it bounce up a little bit more. Now, if it fails and starts rolling over here, well, we'll probably see a bit more of a correction coming through into next week. Okay, the pound is correcting more as well. We've seen a bigger correction here, and it's seen a lower high coming through here. Hasn't got the pivot support that the euro has, and it's looking quite messy where it's sitting. It's done a double bottom here. Well, we could get the draw into the daily pivot. Whether it breaks through that or just reacts to that, we'll see. But it's got the scope to get up there. It's in a bit of no man's land. The pivots yesterday were so pinched. It ran through its S3 there, which is relatively unusual. But today, well, I don't see an immediate entry in what I'm seeing here. It's sort of, I'd like to have seen some support somewhere. There may be some fib support. That does look like there could be some fib support kicking through on there. Let's just put a fib retracement on from that previous low there. No, it's not even got its 61.8. It's short of everything. It's in between. It's in that fib zone between the 50, 61.8. We can get turns in that area as traders come in early, but it looks, with the lower highs, lower lows, it looks quite bearish on this lower time frame. US dollar yen. The only things drawing the pound is the pivot, of course. Yen is still weakening, even though it's expected next week interest rates will be increased. It's the dollar, well, maybe it's just the dollar's really strengthening, but it's had a good move back off the quarterly pivot here. Sorry, weekly pivot here, beg your pardon. It's a really decent move off that, and it's bounced off its daily already, this. So could catch, there's some potential to catch a continuation on that as we run through the morning. Aussie dollar, now the Aussie should be benefiting from the copper prices, but it doesn't appear to be at the moment. Morning, which often can be the case, we just see a change of direction completely. Well, these pivots might be worth looking at. The US dollar CAD, again, this is, well, it's softening here. It's broken through the previous highs there. Hasn't actually put a higher low in as such. As that, well, yes, it has. What am I talking about? It has put a higher low in the bigger structure of things, and is looking quite soft there now. And again, inverted wise, we've got the pivot below in this case. At the moment though, it's looking like there's more upside than the downside. If this actually gets any momentum, it could even push in through to its R1 and R2. It hasn't got anywhere near the pivot at the moment, so we could see that pushing further. New Zealand dollar. So New Zealand dollar falling. Now this was waiting for this to be falling. Yesterday was talking about this. Excuse me. So the New Zealand dollar falling there, heading southbound. It's got potential to run back down towards those lows there. That's what I was looking for originally. I missed this yesterday afternoon, and it's done, unfortunately, a lot of what I'd like to have done, perhaps earlier in the week. It's not that. It's a bit of a picture. We've got the untouched pivot, daily pivot. Now, again, if the market starts switching around here this morning, we see the dollar starting to sell a little bit of profit taken or whatever. These pivots, it's just looking for the best pattern out of the lot of them for me. Right, euro yen. Ooh, what's this doing then? So it is pushing to the upside. It's not far off of putting a higher low in there. So it's got a bullish engulfing 4 hourly at the moment, but that's not really finishing. But yeah, a solid old day at the moment there. Right, let's just nip across, look at the indices. I'll look at the rest of those markets in a short while. Gold. Well, gold is hanging in there. It sold off a little bit yesterday, but it is hanging around those highs. It's starting to form more of a wedge pattern there, which becomes a bit less reliable in terms of the expectation for a continuation. And occasionally we get more of a reversal off them, but we'll see what happens. But it's sort of putting higher lows in, lower highs in at this stage. Gold, oil. So oil picked up yesterday and is looking a little bit more positive. Maybe we're going to get back into some trend on this and move somewhere. I'll be watching this afternoon to see if we can get a continuation. It might just finish the week off nicely. It has been so ugly as late. S&Ps. So a bit of a reaction to the highs yesterday. It did it just pitch out into a new yearly or new all-time high, and it's pulled back in there at the moment, looking quite soft, just back to its weekly pivot there at the moment, but bounced off that. Didn't really like the data yesterday either, but this seems to change quite quickly. A break back above the daily pivot might see it drift in. It's really something I'd rather be trading in the afternoon, this, but there is the potential there. The DAX has continued, that pitched into a new high there yesterday. coming off afterwards, but I'm just looking through the time frames again. It's below its daily pivot at the moment. A move back above there, it would be deemed quite positive. Okay, that's pretty much it for me at the moment. So there are some potential opportunities. We've just got to watch whether these currencies change or just continue this morning. If the continuation moves, there could be trades into their respective S2s or R2s. Otherwise, look for the pivots. Take care. Have a good day. Catch you later. Okay, guys. Sorry.